first and foremost, when I had the idea for the book, I got into the program, I thought, well, how can I do this? Do I have the time? How will this fit in with work and family, like you said? And so I really had to understand and learn about the process and the structure of the program, which completely lent itself to having flexibility for me and still providing me with the accountability that was so key for me to get my book over the finish line. And so, the number one was a community of authors that I was with. I'm a first-time author, never done this before. And so having other folks in the same boat was so motivating and empowering and helpful. But having the structure of the program where, every Tuesday evening we met as a cohort, then I had a weekly meeting with my editor. But if I ever couldn't make those meetings, I could join in another session or reschedule or watch the recording. And that was huge, especially during the pandemic and everything being virtual. It really just lent itself to this completely flexible and this program that served people like me who are working professionals, but still have this passion on the side. So my passion for getting it off the ground started in this hotel room and with preparing my son, but going along the journey through the Creator Institute really helped to blow that up in a really cool way. I wrote a rhyme book originally, so it was not a novel. It did not have characters with tropes and these scenes. But when I first spoke to Eric about the program, he said, well, I like the idea for your book, but we're not producing children's books right now. And I thought, oh man, okay, well, that's unfortunate. Then he said, we're getting some interest. I'll reach out to you if anything changes. Well, he did. And so I then in the program was challenged because he sort of gave me a pause for a second and said, I know you wrote a picture book, but we're only producing books that are like young reader or young author books. And so you'll have to really build the story out. And so going along the journey, while I had this shell of an idea, I really developed it truly through the program, because I had to imagine Lenox, who is, now 3 years old, as a 12-year-old. And my daughter Tegan as a much older character. And I didn't ever fathom that I would do that, but was challenged in the best way possible through the program to create this storyline, this narrative, and this world that I hadn't yet dreamt of. Being a Black woman myself, that, part of diversity and representation was just so foundational to me. And I knew that I wanted those values to be passed down to my children. And now that I have 2 children myself, it's so important for me that they understand how they are represented in the world, and they're confident and they can see themselves. And so that led me to become an author. But I will say that I am truly an unlikely author. I never dreamt of writing a book. It was never in my plans. But finding this program through the Creator Institute and having this idea that I really had to bring to life was something that I couldn't pass up.